mic here. Can you hear me now? Let me know if it's still muted or if we're good. We are live on YouTube, hopefully unmuted. I see it coming through on mine, so I think we're chilling. There we go. Thumbs up. Love to see it. Guys, it's the best time of the year. It literally does not get better than this. These next 2 weekends are basically my Christmas. And we got Jahmyr Gibbs going 101 in the draft we're doing live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. We are live on TikTok as always. We're only going to have time for one draft on this live stream. Couldn't be more locked in than I am right now. We've max entered Best Ball Mania, 150 entries into the big underdog contest. I'm probably not going to make it there in this big DraftKings one, but I'm going to try. I think I'm about halfway, so very unlikely because this is the time of the year where I start to lock in for my high stakes season-long drafts that are coming up in these next 2 weekends. And one of the best ways to prepare, in my opinion, are these drafts over on DraftKings because they go a lot more like your home league will than the underdog drafts. They're also PPR, like almost all of my high stakes leagues were PPR leagues. So I love that aspect of it as well. We got the 10th pick in this draft. An interesting slot this year for sure. Let me just make sure we're on PPR scoring here. Yep, we are. I'm going to bump up the receiver one for rankings purposes. Glad to be back with you, Gerson, this season as well. Let me pull this up so you can see it. And we are doing a live draft on YouTube. If you're watching live on TikTok, I got how I think the first round should go up on TikTok. I will talk through that a little bit on the stream. Not how the real draft I'm doing. This is a real $20 draft over on YouTube. Link is in the TikTok bio if you want to watch it. I will talk through it if you're going to watch on TikTok. I will get to a lot of the comments as well. And I am pumped to be back with you this season as well, Gerson. It is my favorite time of the year. It does not get better. It doesn't get better than fantasy football draft season, man. What's your preferred pick at 108, 10-man? Yeah, 10-man strat, definitely a little bit different. And I'm in no 10-man leagues. Like I'm in 12 and 14 team leagues, basically exclusively this draft I'm doing right now over on YouTube, obviously a 12-man draft. It doesn't change too much for me in the early rounds. The thing in the smaller man leagues, I'm a little bit more likely in the 10, 8-man leagues to be reaching for elite QB, reaching for elite tight end, because your team's going to be still so stacked elsewhere. Like you can still get such good players, basically throughout the whole draft in shallower leagues. All right, we're on the clock at pick 10. And we got Amon-Ra, we got Puka. I think I'm going to go, Puka's sliding. He might actually be there with the next pick because he's been sliding a lot. I haven't taken a ton of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think we go Amon-Ra St. Brown here. Wow, A-Chance continued to slide too. Chase Brown's ADP is ahead of his now. Going to mix in some Amon-Ra. I think my favorite pick in drafts this year is this 7th pick, the 6th, 7th. Wow, Justin Jefferson went 8th in this draft. What's happening in this draft? This is the DraftKings drafts, man, I'm telling you. Unlike underdog, people really ignore average draft position on DraftKings. This is a lot more like what you might see in your home league. In this draft I'm doing live right now, you can see the draft board. If you come to the YouTube live, you're watching live on TikTok. I have the 10th pick. Unfortunately, I wish I had the 8th or 7th pick here because Malik Neighbors went pick 5 ahead of McCaffrey, ahead of Lamb, and ahead of Jefferson. This is a real $20 draft here that I'm doing. I think I go Brian Thomas. Yeah, we're going to go Brian Thomas. Highest ranked player I have left, pretty close to his ADP. I do like starting wide receiver. This is, you start 3 receivers in this draft I'm doing right now and a flex and only 2 running backs, and it's PPR. And best ball too, it's hard to find those wide receiver ceilings later in the draft. You can find the running back ceilings later in drafts though. I still like going early running back though in season-long drafts as well. I will do a lot more 0 running back like you might see me do on this draft right here on DraftKings. In these big tournaments, since this is a big tournament, I'm drafting. Got to beat a lot of teams. But yeah, with the 8, what was it? The 8th pick in the 10-man, you said? Yeah, I mean, this is the ideal scenario. If you pick 8, the ideal scenario is one of those top 7 falls to you. And the top 7, very clearly, in my opinion, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Saquon, those are the top 3. Those should be the first 3 picks in every fantasy draft. In my opinion, Bijan Robinson should go first. I'm not using the WalterPicks suggestions. I will use them during this draft, but I'm in offline mode because we don't sync to DraftKings yet. So I'll just use it. I'll compare during the draft. If I wasn't live, I would swipe these players away as they're taken, and I can still kind of do it as I'm going. But because I'm live, I spend my time in between the picks in the comments rather than updating here, but I'll still take a peek at the comparisons in some tougher spots as I get ready for my pick. But that is why I do have my rankings, our best ball specific rankings. I have them uploaded here on DraftKings, uploaded them right before the live. So I got our rankings to peek at. Though I will deviate from these rankings a decent amount because I'm trying to spread exposure and I care about stacking like a lot in this format. So that will, if you catch me like veering off a lot, I also obviously have some of my own personal opinions versus our rankings as well. But yeah, I think the 8 spot is honestly one of my least favorite picks unless something like what happened in this YouTube draft I'm doing right now happens, where CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson or Christian McCaffrey fall to pick 8. I mean, that is wild. But yeah, I think the first 3 picks of every draft, in my opinion, should be Bijan, Chase, and Saquon. And to me, that's pretty clear. And I think there's a pretty good debate about the order there. For me, it goes Bijan, Chase, Saquon in that order. I think Bijan's the safest pick in fantasy football. Target share is more locked in than Saquon. He's about 5-6 years younger than Saquon. Team environment isn't quite as good as Saquon, but it's definitely not that much worse. I like Saquon a lot too. I think you could make an argument for him at 1 as well. And then Chase is just sort of in a tier of his own right now. The next 4 picks, though, and again, I think you could debate the order. It should be CeeDee Lamb, Jahmyr Gibbs, Justin Jefferson, and Christian McCaffrey. And to me, that's, again, pretty clear. Like, I think those should be the first 7 picks in every single fantasy football draft. It's probably a pretty good litmus test if your draft is legit, if those are the first 7 picks. If it goes in any order, Bijan, Chase, Saquon, Lamb, Gibbs, Jefferson, CMC, you're in a legit league. I'm not in a legit draft right now. Someone took Malik Neighbors at 5. And I like Malik Neighbors. I would not take him at 5. So I would take him at 8. That's who I would go with at 8, especially in a PPR league. And your scoring settings matter, guys. They matter a lot. This is part of the reason that the WalterPicks app is an absolute cheat code in fantasy, because it accounts for all of your specific settings. Like the rankings for half PPR and full PPR are actually a lot different, especially for some players. I think Derrick Henry, he might be the most scoring mode dependent fantasy player that exists. You can see if you go to the WalterPicks app, which again, it's a free app. Spent the last 5 years of my life helping build this app. Definitely install it if you haven't. It's a free app to try. Premium subscriptions are honestly way underpriced. We probably should be charging at least 2x what we are. It's a great value if you're serious about winning fantasy and you're in some serious leagues and you're into player props too. But yeah, I would go Neighbors personally at 108. It's a tight tier there though. But yeah, if you go to the WalterPicks app, you switch up the settings and you keep the rankings in if you're a premium subscriber. I think actually we're giving the top top 20 rankings, top 25 at least rankings away for free right now. If you switch from PPR to half PPR to non-PPR, you will just see Derrick Henry skyrocket to like the top 5. He goes to like the top 5 in non-PPR, down to like, closer to like the 15th ranked player overall. And you can see ADP comparisons across a bunch of players. Let's see who we're about to be on the clock. I'll get back to the comments here in a second. Going to be on the clock. I did start wide receiver. McBride's available. JSN, Kittle available. I definitely would take McBride. He's not going to be there, though. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Yeah, so we started with Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas, and we had the 10th pick. JSN. I think I'm going JSN over Marv. Yeah. I think we just keep going with the zero running back approach here. Yeah, we're going to go JSN. We start 3 receivers here. If you guys are just tuning into the YouTube live, guys, smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We're just getting started. We're only 3 rounds in. This is a real PPR draft over on DraftKings. First place, I think it's a $1.5 million first place prize that we're drafting for right now. It is the best time of year, man. It is fantasy football draft season. We're locked in. We're going to get to the comments here in a second after we're on the clock with this next pick. If you guys are just joining us, guys, smash the subscribe button. We're going to be going live all of these next 2 weeks, all fantasy football season long. It starts with the draft. You got to crush the draft, but it does not end there. It really doesn't. And that gets lost a lot this time of year. All right, we're going to be back on the clock. We're doing the zero running back draft here. I think we got to go Marv. Yeah, we're going Marv. What's this report on Marv? I don't think it's an injury. No. Yeah, we're taking Marv. We're going to 0 running back. Love this start. In a DraftKings best ball draft. All right, let's get to some of the comments here because I know you guys are all grinding for your drafts as well. Sam, my man, long time no see. Been here since you created the channel. Crazy how much you've grown, WalterPicks. Thanks, man. Andrew, great to see you as well. It is the best time of year, whether you are brand new or coming back for the manyth year at this point, man, we're just getting started. Just getting started. Yeah, the injuries are tough. There's a lot of injuries to be aware of. And every year, guys, we're going to have this a little sneak peek for you guys on the live stream right now, because this is not public. Ernest, shout out to you, man. Seriously, appreciate you. One of the biggest ways you guys could support me, the whole WalterPicks brand, is just hitting the subscribe button on YouTube, hitting the follow button on TikTok, and checking out the WalterPicks app, which is free. It's a free app, and the premium subscriptions are super worth it as well. The sneak peek that I want to give you guys is I have, over the last couple of months, been grinding behind the scenes, not in front of the scenes like I often am, but grinding behind the scenes, putting together a draft guide, a very detailed draft guide that is going to go through players I'm targeting at every single round, every single position, players that I'm fading and why, some historical regression to be aware of for certain players. Let me pull up what else you're going to find in the draft guide. It should be out in the next couple of days in the next app release. Very excited to share it with you all. It is going to be the best way to prepare for your draft. It's only going to take you it's going to take less than 30 minutes to read, and you'll just be fully ready to go. And it will also outline exactly how I'm using the WalterPicks app in my drafts as well. Let me switch back to the draft board for you guys on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in this live stream right now. We're going to be talking fantasy strategy here all live stream. And yeah, there are going to be monthly options in the WalterPicks app in draft season. So up until the fantasy season, we are not offering them in the app now. They will be back when the season starts. If you were on a monthly in the past and you think you should have renewed, you can reach out to support@walterpicks.com. We can help you out. But the monthly options will be making a return September 4th or September 5th. Yeah, so in the draft guide that I've spent the last several months working on, we got deep analysis on my thoughts on the rookie class this year. Every year, the rookies have a huge impact on fantasy football, whether they're overhyped or underhyped. And every year, there's a mix of both. And this year, certain parts of this rookie class, I'm very, very high on. I detail that in the draft guide. I talk about some of the biggest offseason changes that are going overlooked still that I do not want to underrate in fantasy football. I talk about the exact draft strategies I'm using in drafts. I detailed the zero running back strategy, where it came from, where and when to use it. You want to have multiple strategies at your disposal every single draft, especially if you're in legit, serious, competitive drafts. You got to be able to dig while others at. Let's get to some of the comments. Why did Tay fall so far? Yeah, both Davante Adams and Puka Nacua have been falling a lot. Puka didn't fall in this draft right now. Again, if you're watching live on TikTok, guys, I'm live on YouTube as well. And you can come watch the draft board as it unfolds. It's a real draft, not a mock draft. Real draft. Real money on the line, $20 on the line for a $1.5 million first place prize in this tournament of drafting it. And here comes the wide receiver run. Wow, what a snag there with Pickens. Wow, how does Pickens going this late in the draft at this point? Yeah, where did Davante Adams? Yeah, he went 4.4. I mean, I took Marv over him. I feel fine with that. I think there is a higher ceiling there. Let's pull that comparison up right now. I think I feel good about that. About to be back on the clock. We do have Adams ahead of Marv here in the WalterPicks app. Makes me feel a little bit worse. I know Devontae's dealing with an injury. Feels like he's fallen a little bit too far, though. RJ Harvey's still there. He got snagged. I think we just got to keep pounding receiver and see if we can make up for it. Everything I've read so far is that the Devontae Smith injury is not super serious. Neither appear to be dealing with any sort of issue that could threaten their week 1 availability. Still not what you love to see. I'm not going to reach for running back here, though, just because my roster construction so far says so. Especially, this is a 20-round draft. I'm going to make up for it. And there's a lot of these late-round running backs, I think, that have a legit upside. I will consider these two guys, though, for sure. With my next pick, I will definitely consider Waddle. I have his second-ranked receiver. He's third on the ADP. Yeah, I'm going to go Pollard or Waddle, probably one of these picks. I'm in a 150 PPR league with 12 people with 102, 2 running back, 3 receivers. Who should I draft? My team. Yeah, so I think the first 2 picks, in my opinion, in every draft should be Bijan and Chase. But you also got to know your draft a little bit as well. If you've drafted with these people before, I think we got to go Pollard. I'm going Pollard. I got to get some Pollard with the Spears injury, and having no running backs yet on this team too. It depends on your league a little bit. Like I know in one of my high stakes leagues that has 14 people in it, I have the 3rd pick in that draft. I'm going running back. Like I think I don't even care if Ja'Marr Chase falls. I have to take a running back because I know that the running backs just go crazy every year in this league, and they dry up so fast that when you have one of those early picks, dude, just take Bijan, take Saquon, and you're gonna be set up really well because there's gonna be mid-round receivers that you feel good about. The fact that you start 3 receivers, I assume there's a flex here too, does make Chase like worth considering. If you go Chase, you kind of, I think, almost have to take a running back with one of your next 2 picks, if not both. And if you're lucky, you're looking at guys like Chase Brown, maybe Devon Achane sliding a lot with the injury stuff, although I'm a little bit nervous about that too. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irving, Amarian Hampton, I would consider in the late 2nd, early 3rd. I feel pretty good about him still. James Cook is not a guy I really like drafting right now. Travion Henderson's went in the 3rd round of this draft. My God, it's going to start to get really hard to draft him, huh? Wow. I mean, he was going in the 6th like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the reason that Devontae Adams and Puka have been falling is the Matt Stafford stuff. So I think it's a little overblown, honestly, like a little bit overblown, because Jimmy Garoppolo is a serviceable backup. Like I think Puka at a minimum, and probably Adams too, will still be pretty valuable in fantasy with Jimmy G back there. Like they're going to still account for more than 50% of the team's targets, potentially more than 60% of the team's targets. Stafford is always peppered his top target with a huge target share, but I don't really expect them to just tank with Jimmy G either. Like I think there's some floor there because of that. All right, we had some questions asking about who to take with the 8th pick. And I think someone else was talking about Christian McCaffrey. Pick 6, pick 7. I'm in on McCaffrey, guys. I've been in on him all offseason. Nothing's going to change for me there. I did go Marv over Adams in this draft I'm doing now. To me, the ceiling is a little higher. The WalterPicks app disagrees. It has me a little bit regretting that decision. Wow, look at this. The ADPs are pretty split with Devontae Adams. You see this all the time. One of my favorite features in the WalterPicks app this year is this ADP comparison. Because to me, I value the underdog ADPs the most here. Because the underdog ADPs are from entirely real money drafts. People with actual money on the line. It's best ball, so it's like a little bit different of a format. Pushes certain players up a little bit. But within the position ranks, like it really doesn't change that much. And yeah, I do think Marv has a pretty high ceiling. And this is also best ball. And in week 15, week 17 in the Fantasy Football Championship, guess who Marvin Harrison he gets to play? Probably the worst defense in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals in a potential shootout. And in best ball, where all the money's in week 17 in this tournament that I'm drafting in right now, I like targeting the teams playing the Bengals in the fantasy playoffs. And that's the Cardinals in week 17, the Dolphins in week 16, and the Ravens in week 15. All 3 of those offenses I've been drafting a ton of. But yeah, this ADP comparison is super valuable, especially to give you a sense of where the platform you're drafting on is behind of where it probably should be. I mean, some big differences here. Wow, ESPN has Adams up to wide receiver 14. Sleeper has him at wide receiver 19. I mean, it's a pretty big delta there. All right, we're back on the clock here. Judy's still there. I probably should take Aaron Jones. I took him on route 2. I think that's a stack. Yeah. And we will consider Jordan Mason too and just grab the whole Vikings backfield. I don't hate that move in best ball because I don't need to predict which week one of these guys is going to have a big game. Which of these guys is going to score a touchdown every week. In season long, I don't love pairing 2 guys like this as much. But again, this is best ball. I don't need to make any start-sit decisions here. My best team's automatically submitted for me. I'm going for ceiling, spike games, and huge weeks in the fantasy playoffs. And Jordan Mason gets sniped. Not the end of the world. I think we are going to go Judy here. Yeah, he fell a lot. Not like the biggest Judy fan, but he was, 13 picks past his ADP there, a full round. I might be done at receiver. I might take one more, but this is what I mean. I'm going to be able to draft a lot of running backs now. I'm getting more dart throws at running back by going 0 running back in best ball. And there's also so many guys late in these drafts that have some PPR standalone value. Am I crazy to take a Marion Hampton over Josh Jacobs? Let's do that comparison quick on the YouTube Live. Again, if you're watching live on TikTok, guys, I'm telling you, come to the YouTube Live. It is a better viewing experience. I can share screen on the YouTube Live. I can't do that on the TikTok Live. And someone just asked, I'll answer comments from both throughout the live. I am doing a live draft that we're following along with on the YouTube Live too. That has had a pretty interesting start. But we can pull up this comparison right now on the YouTube Live and take a look at it. And I think it's probably a little bit different in PPR. Hampton might not catch many passes. I think we might actually be projecting him for a bit more receiving work than Jacobs. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the other way around, though. We have Jacobs projected for basically everything better, though, rushing-wise. Not even really close. You got to go Jacobs. I like Hampton a lot. I think the line for Hampton is basically right there. It's right around Josh Jacobs. Bucky Irving, I would take over Hampton. Josh Jacobs, I would take over him. Jonathan Taylor. I still think I'd go H.N. Chase Brown. I would take Hampton over Kyron Williams personally. I don't want Kyron Williams on my teams. I would take Hampton over James Cook too. I don't want him on my teams either. But I don't feel great like reaching for him above those guys. Like part of the reason I like Hampton is he's usually there in the third, sometimes even the fourth round, especially depending on your draft. Some people are just going to be sleeping on rookies. Why don't you make an option for just sports betting on the app? Yeah, no, we definitely have considered this. It's something we might do in the future, but we sort of priced the entire app tier as if it was just betting. And so the fantasy stuff's just sort of a value add if you're into both, which a lot of people obviously are. But it's not like if we introduce a betting tier, I think it would just inflate the price like a little bit. And that's not really that really wasn't our goal. We wanted to be not egregiously priced like some other people in the space. We're trying to help the common person fight back against the books. Yeah, desktop version definitely coming. Probably next draft season. Very, very excited for that. Why don't I like Kyron Williams? Yeah, I detail this in the draft guide. The draft guide is going to be launching the WalterPicks app in the next couple of days, like next 24, 48 hours. Very pumped to get that out, but happy to give you a sneak peek on the live stream. Shout out to everybody in this live right now, by the way, guys. This is one of my favorite parts of what I get to call my job, and I really do appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Take 2 seconds, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out way more than you could possibly realize. If you're watching live on TikTok, hit that follow button. But Kyron Williams is a extremely volume-dependent running back, which isn't the end of the world. It hasn't been the end of the world for him because the volume's been great. The volume's been there. He literally led the NFL in running back rush share last year. He led the league in rush share. He had a higher rush share than Jonathan Taylor, than Joe Mixon, Chuba Hubbard, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Derrick Henry. 74% of the team's carries. Do we really think he's going to repeat that? Because even when he led the NFL in carries, he finished running back 11. Didn't really win leagues. Didn't really win you your league. He didn't. He definitely helped you avoid losing it. But he wasn't a league winner still. He led the NFL in rush share. He was 43rd in yards per carry. He had the most carries in the NFL. He had 2 runs over 20 yards. He had the most chances in the NFL for yards over 20 yards, and he only had 2 of them. For carries over 20 yards, he only had 2 of them. Just not the type of ceiling player I want to be drafting, personally. He's like a floor play, and if the volume suddenly shifts, he's going to be like a really tough guy to draft. And I do think Jarquez Hunter's like not bad either. Yikes, this is where the draft starts to get real ugly, huh? We are on the clock here. Caleb's there. Loveland's there. I think we go Loveland. We haven't taken a tight end. Yeah, I think we're gonna go Loveland here. I could go Reed, but we're gonna go Loveland first, and we'll see if we can get Caleb on the way back. I do like Colson Loveland in the range of drafts he's going in right now. $101 in 8-man keeper. Should I take Genty? Is it a dynasty league? Is everyone being kept? Because yeah, I mean, if it's just rookies, it's Genty. I think Genty's the clear 101. He was the clear 101 in dynasty drafts. I don't think it was really close. Yeah, I've struggled with Genty a little bit, to be honest. I've gone like full circle with him from the NFL draft. I spent more time researching rookies this year than I've spent in any year before. Every year, I've just sort of been spending more and more time getting deep into prospect profiling and getting a little bit better at it every single season. You can see detailed breakdowns on every single rookie for free in the WalterPicks app right now, too. If you guys haven't checked out the WalterPicks app yet, I do not know what you're waiting for. It is a free app with tons of powerful free features, and the premium subscriptions in the app are well worth it if you're in a serious fantasy league or into player props. But I helped build this rookie guide this year, and we're going to be on the clock here. I'll make a pick quick, and then I'll get back to what I was saying. Wow, the running backs are really going. I still don't hate going Coleman as my last receiver. I'm definitely not taking Judkins. I do want to read that report, though. Yeah, we're gonna go Coleman. Caleb Williams got taken, right? Did he not? Yeah, he did. Gosh, he got sniped. This guy sniped me twice now. Doesn't even have any Bears players. But yeah, 3 months ago, when we did the analysis on Genty after he got drafted, and before he got drafted too, I mean, this is a generationally elite prospect here with Ashton Genty. Like, if you don't really find better running back prospects than this, you got to understand this is not a normal rookie running back. Because I think a lot of people struggle with this in fantasy. They hear rookie and they think risk. And there's some additional risk with rookies because we haven't seen them in the NFL yet. But it's not equal risk just across the board with rookies. Some rookies are a lot less risky than others. And Genty's in the category of like really not that risky. I wonder a little bit just about what the ceiling is on the Raiders offense. Like, I think there's just some risk in the Raiders offense, just a big unknown. Chip Kelly's back. It doesn't sound like he's going to do what he did like 6, 7, 8 years ago, last time he was OC in the NFL, which was a wild offense. He went to college. He's coming back. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly with Geno Smith. It's just like a brand new team with a uncertain offensive line. But the role for Genty is locked in, guys. Do you think Raheem Mostert is going to steal a lot of work from Genty? I think you're crazy. Our top 3 comparable prospects for Ashton Genty were Jahmyr Gibbs, LaDainian Tomlinson, and Reggie Bush. And guys, we're not crazy with the player comps like a lot of people are on the NFL draft. We don't toss names out like this randomly and for everybody. No one else in this profile, in all the profiles we wrote up, really had names like this on there. So yeah, I think Genty, like, he could lead the NFL in carries. Wouldn't shock me. Would not be surprised. But at the same time, you look at where he's going in drafts, at least in the draft we're doing right now over on YouTube, and the drafts that I've been in so far. Look at all these leagues I have synced to the app. And he got picked in the 4th pick of the 2nd round. Like, that's the range of drafts I think it makes sense to start thinking about him. But I'm not going to take him. I'm not going to take him over Brian Thomas. I'm not going to take him over Drake London. I'm not going to take him over Chase Brown. Is close. Chase Brown's close, but the offense is just so much safer with the Bengals, and the Bengals defense is going to be so bad again. There's going to be such high scoring games there. I'm not taking him over Puka, over Derrick Henry, over Amon Ra, over Nico, over Jefferson, over Lamb. I think I probably would, like, him versus Bowers is honestly a really interesting decision. I think I probably would go Bowers personally. I think he could be in the running for the best all-time tight end season we've ever seen. Like, that is within his range of outcomes this year, and you're getting him in the middle of the 2nd round right now. Whereas in past years, he would have been an easy 1st-round pick. But tight ends were so bad last year, it's like we're applying how bad they were to the most elite tight end that we know is not going to be bad. Him and McBride, I think, are pretty good picks right now. All right, this guy's already taken 2 QBs. This guy's only got 1, and he does have Travis Hunter. Are we taking Trevor Lawrence? This is why you got to peek at the draft board before you pick, because he could have sniped me from Trevor Lawrence because he has Travis Hunter. And we got the Brian Thomas, Trevor Lawrence stack now. And stacking is massive in this type of draft that I'm doing here, this format, this best ball format. I will consider Spears. I already have Pollard. Again, like I mentioned earlier in the live, I could probably wait another round. Wow, he's really falling. Kyle Pitts. Man, I'd love to go on a Kyle Pitts rant on this live if I take him. Jaden Blue. Don't mind that one either. I do like mixing in some Ray Davis in these zero running back builds too. I like Mondre as well. This is what I'm saying. A lot of like best ball candidates with ceilings, I would say, this late in a draft. Where's Brenton Strange at? Yeah, we could snipe him later. We got to go with one of these running backs. I'm going to go with Jaden Blue. He's not fully practicing yet, right? Did return to practice. Close call. We're going with the guy with the better receiving ceiling, though. We're going with Jaden Blue. In best ball, I do think there's a really, really good PPR ceiling here. I got Neighbors in the 3rd round. Yeah, I don't believe you. That's not a non-serious league. In the draft I'm doing right now live on YouTube, if you come to the YouTube live, there's a real draft that I'm doing that you can see the draft board too. This is one of the best ways to prepare for your draft, is seeing actual real money drafts that people care about and aren't just mock drafting for the first couple rounds and then dipping. Malik Neighbors went with the 5th pick in this draft, which I think is a reach. I would take McCaffrey and Lamb and Jefferson over him pretty easily. But yeah, I do have Neighbors at pick 8. A 2K standard league. Wow. I mean, that's just ridiculous. People must have just gone crazy with the running backs, or maybe people reached on quarterbacks for some reason. What's your favorite draft position in this year's draft? Yeah, I think it's pick 7. I think it's pick 6 or 7, because to me, the top 6, the top 7, and I think the top 3 are all pretty clear. Like, I think there's kind of clear tier breaks for me at all those points. But if you want to think about it as one big tier 1, I'm fine with that too. The order for me goes Bijan, Chase, Saquon, Lamb, Gibbs, Jefferson, CMC. I'll run that back one more time, but I love all of these picks. And because I like all 7 of these picks, I prefer to just have pick 7. And then you get a really good round 2 pick. Because I also think like round 1, it kind of extends into round 2 this year. Like, you're seeing guys that I think could produce round 1 type numbers from past seasons going round 2. Like, you'll be looking at round 2, Chase Brown, Drake London, Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs are going to be sitting there for you almost every time in round 2. And you compare those guys with McCaffrey or Lamb or Jefferson. Usually you're looking at pick 7. So yeah, I feel pretty good about that, the pick 7 slot. I do like being in the middle of drafts often, so I can just react a little bit more easily during my draft to what's going on. Whereas on the turn, you're kind of a little trapped and you can't react. Sometimes you're just forced to reach for the guy you need or the guy you want. Whereas in the middle, you can, I feel like, oftentimes get better values and just react, adapt your draft strategy as you need to. Well, I kind of wish I went Tootin over Jaden Blue looking back at this draft board. I think I would take Tootin over Jaden Blue straight up. I thought I might have a chance at him with my next pick. Clearly, that was not the case. But I also already had Trevor Lawrence in the stack going there. We have Jaden Blue as a bit higher of a ceiling. Makes me feel a little bit better. We don't have them either projected for a ton right now, but yeah, I do like the ceiling of both guys. Let's take a look at the QB situation here that we're in. Is there any guys we have that we can stack with at this point? Goff is gone. Lawrence is gone. We do have Darnold that we can stack with. Kyler's gone. Jalen Hurts is gone. I'm not taking a Browns QB. Yeah, it's kind of tough. There's probably some backdoor stacks here. And here too, to consider. Rodgers as well. Because I'm going to take 3 QBs in this draft just to get the optimal roster construction, best ball wise. JSN or Higgins, it's T, man. It's T Higgins. I can't stop drafting T Higgins. He's definitely one of my highest exposure players. I've done more than 300 drafts, guys. And their best ball drafts, it is a little bit different. And I do think T is maybe a little bit better in best ball than JSN. Like, he gets a little bit more of a boost there because the weekly ceiling. But guys, T Higgins was the 3rd best receiver in fantasy last year on a points per game basis. Wide receiver 3 in points per game. You compare him to Jamar Chase, go into WalterPicks app for free and compare Jamar Chase to T Higgins. And tell me how you're not drafting T Higgins after doing that. Come back and tell me how you're not doing that. I'll do it on the YouTube live right now, where I can share my screen. Okay, if you're watching live on TikTok, come to the YouTube live. If you're watching live on YouTube, open the WalterPicks app and do the comparison with me. Yeah, this one's not even close. Look at last year's numbers. Obviously, JSN's I like him a lot. I literally just took him in this draft. But look where T. Higgins went in this draft versus JSN. T. Higgins went in the first pick of the third round. JSN went like in one of the last picks of the third round. This range, give me JSN all day. I honestly didn't even think that much about this pick, even though I already had two receivers. Like the floor is really high for JSN. The ceiling is extremely high. He's a young player who just put in a wide receiver 15 season in points per game, playing alongside DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, who are both gone. I do worry a little bit about the QB situation with Darnold, though. Like, I'm not in on Darnold. He really looked bad at the end of last season. I think there's some hope for the flashes he showed last year, too. But the ending was rough. There's a reason the Vikings did not try to re-sign him. Obviously, they had J.J. McCarthy, too. But if he finished the season like he started, I mean, they probably would have considered re-signing Darnold. Man, Penix is definitely intriguing to me. There's not really backdoor stacks with him like there was with Bryce, though. Darnold, I might have to go Darnold. Oh, gosh. I was literally just talking about how I'm scheduled with Darnold. Now I have to take him. For stacking purposes, I'm going to go Bryce instead. I can't bad talk Darnold and then with good conscience take him in this draft with real money on the line. And there's going to be guys I can backdoor stack with Bryce. You got this filter here. Take one of these two guys and Sanders, and I don't mind mixing in Daddle, Trevor Etienne either. All these guys, I could tell a story about a week 17 spike week, which is all I need. That's all I need in this draft right now. See, I like JSN, but I'm doing T. But let's do the T. Higgins versus Jamar Chase comparison now, because again, this is the comparison I just can't get out of my head. Every time I'm sitting there in the beginning of the third round and I'm looking at who's on the board, this comparison just pops in my head. And I'm like, how am I not going to take the discount Jamar Chase right now? He's got the same elite quarterback, the same shootout environment with an awful defense. Basically no target competition outside of one other guy and a good running back too. But yeah, we look at the fantasy stats last year. Jamar Chase obviously was wide receiver 1. About 4 points more game, 4 more points per game in PPR leagues Chase had than T. Higgins. About 20 more yards per game, about the same amount of touchdowns per game. Guys, T. Higgins was number 2 wide receiver in touchdowns per game. Jamar Chase was number 1. Number 1 in points per game, Jamar Chase. Number 3 was T. Higgins. He wasn't that far behind. They were both top 10 in yards per game, both top 3 in touchdowns per game, both top 3 in points per game. And then you look at the receiving stats. Half a target more for Jamar Chase per game. That's it. Less than 2% more target share, like a percent more target share. That's it for Jamar Chase over T. Higgins. Like they're getting almost the same amount of volume on the same team in the same environment. Chase is just like insanely efficient. And it's going to be hard for Higgins to match. But yeah, he just gets underrated because he's next to Jamar Chase. Where if you removed him, put him on another team, like this is a guy that looks like the rest of the receivers going in round 1. Nico, Amon-Ra, Puka, Brian Thomas. Like T. Higgins is right there in basically every metric. And he just gets overshadowed by Jamar Chase. Yeah, I think T. Higgins should go in the second round, probably. Like just looking at these stats, looking at the projections. And in some metrics, guys, he's doing even better than Chase. More air yards than Chase. Higher percentage of his team air yards than Chase. That's my preferred volume metric over targets. Higher targets per route run. He had a higher touchdown rate too. He missed some games, which is why he had less touchdowns, I think. All right, we are back on the clock. We're going to go, I think we go Leggett first. Yeah, we got to take Leggett. We got 8 receivers now, so no more receivers. And I might take Rodgers to get that backdoor stack too. Because, yeah, the quarterbacks are done here. We're going to take Rodgers next. I think I basically have to. I still only have 1 tight end. We're going to get back to the comments here in a second too, I promise. Appreciate everyone on this live show right now. It's been a fun draft so far. Having a ton of fun. We got 5 picks left, and I got to finish this out strong. We need 1 quarterback and 2 tight ends in these final 5 picks and then 2 running backs. I don't think I can get away with 2 QB. Yeah, I can't. I need 3 QBs and 3 tight ends. I'm really going to go with a pretty sketchy running back situation here if I only get 2 more. Just need Blue or Davis to hit, really. Definitely a pretty. I probably shouldn't have taken an 8th receiver. One of these 2 receivers, I should have gone running back. Looking back on this, but yeah, we're gonna kind of be forced into taking Rodgers. I do just need. I think you really do need 3 QBs in this format, so you have 3 stacking opportunities, and we can go to the Steelers here. Calvin Austin, limited. He's gonna be fine. Roman Wilson and Kenneth Gainwell too is going to have a role, guys. Played ahead of Caleb Johnson in their preseason game. I still like Caleb Johnson more, to be clear, but Kenneth Gainwell is going to be a real annoyance in fantasy for the Caleb Johnson people. Thoughts on Travis Hunter? Yep, I'm in. Count me in. Count me in on Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is going later in drafts than he would in a normal situation because he's playing defense. There's a lot of people scared about the defense thing. I'm not scared of the defense thing. I'm willing to risk that and have that come back to bite me. Like, I'm willing to risk that because the ceiling for Travis Hunter is basically what we saw from Brian Thomas last year. Like that's the ceiling. And that is a league winning ceiling. Like we just saw it. And Travis Hunter is going to, like, it really could become like a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins type in situation there with Jacksonville. Travis Hunter being one of the 2 guys. Good luck guessing if he's T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. Because like he literally could be the Jamar Chase to Brian Thomas's T. Higgins. Would not be that crazy. And I'm not saying that's going to happen year 1 necessarily. But like that being a debate heading into year 2 wouldn't shock me at all. Yeah, we compared him in the WalterPicks app to himself twice and then to Shohei Ohtani. You can't really compare him to anyone. But he's an elite receiver, guys. Like a very, very elite receiver. And you look at this team's depth chart. I know they need corners too. Are they really going to take Travis Hunter off the field for De'Ami Brown? Are they really going to take Travis Hunter off the field often for Joshua Cephas and Parker Washington? Just absolutely not. The Jaguars are going to need to score points to stick in these games. Their defense is not going to be great, even with Travis Hunter. I think he's going to play situationally on defense and about 80% of the snaps on offense. I would put the over-under for Hunter offensive snaps, 80%. And it feels like a lot of people are drafting him like that line should be set at like 50% or 60%. You don't trade up all this draft capital to then not use the player where he can provide the most value. Like it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I'm in on Travis Hunter. I think his ceiling's really, really high, and he's a pretty good bet at his current cost. All right, we're back on the clock here. We're going to go Sanders. We do need a couple more tight ends, and we promised ourselves we'd get this backdoor Bryce Young stack, which we are doing quite well. And nobody wants any Steelers players, so we're going to be able to backdoor stack that one very, very easily. We do need a couple running backs still. Kenneth Gainwell might end up being one of them. The other guy I do like in these 0 running back builds is Ty Johnson. He's going to have some spike weeks on his own. PPR, standalone value. He's an injury or 2 away from like potentially being a huge piece in one of these tournaments. And he's going undrafted in most of these drafts. Not a guy I would take in a home league, but in this best ball PPR format, don't need to predict when the weeks are going to come from him. You look at his game logs from last year, Ty Johnson, let me pull them up. I know he had a couple of long catches last year, but he's a good receiving back. I would count them as 3 spike weeks. If I can get 3 13-plus PPR games out of my last round pick at running back, where I invested no early capital in running back, these are going to be startable weeks for me on this team in the last round where no one else has it. And then if an injury happens to Cook or Ray Davis, like suddenly he could win me the tournament in week 15, 16, 17. Wow, these tight ends get bleak real quick. I kind of think we got to go Higbee. Yeah, we're going to do it. I know they drafted a tight end who I actually like a lot. He has missed a bunch of the preseason. Terrence Ferguson. But I don't think it's a lock that Terrence Ferguson is in this like massive role right away. Tyler Higbee missed all of last year. I think he was coming back from an ACL. And he was really good in his final 3 games. 15.6 points in week 18, 11 points in week 19. He finished the season with his best game in that playoff game versus the Eagles, which I think was like pretty rough weather conditions. 18.4 points, 7 catches, 23% target share. This was with Cooper Kupp still on the team. He had at least a 17% target share each of the last 3 games. I think at least early in the season, Tyler Higbee might surprise some people. 10-man PPR, I give up Luther Burden, George Pickens, Travis Hunter. I get Diggs, Moore, Henderson. It's pretty fair. Yeah, I mean, Henderson's probably the best player in the trade, followed by George Pickens, followed by Travis Hunter. Maybe I put DJ Moore probably ahead of Hunter. Then it would be Hunter, then Diggs. I think I would take Hunter over Diggs. And I like Diggs a lot too. Take a look where those guys went in the beginning parts of this PPR draft. This is a real draft over on YouTube. Henderson went in the 3rd round of this draft. He's been going earlier and earlier and earlier, which I'm so annoyed that he has looked this good in the preseason because it's getting so much harder to get him with this increased price. And I honestly, I still think he could smash at this price. I'm very in on Trevor and Henderson. I liked him a lot more in round 6, man. I could not stop taking him in round 5, round 6. Like just 2 weeks ago, he was going next to RJ Harvey in every single draft. And starting 3 receivers, then getting Henderson and Harvey was like doable in almost every draft. I have so many of those best ball teams in the hundreds of best ball teams I've drafted. And man, it's just not doable now. And also, as a Pats fan, dear God, can we please stop having our most talented offensive player return kicks in the preseason? Absolutely brutal. Are you doing the 32-man league again? Yep. We actually already drafted. Yeah, if you want to see, I'm in the league for the first time this year. I've been the commish of the 32 creator league at WalterPicks for 4 years. This is the 5th year of the league. I believe it's the 5th year of the league. My first year actually partaking in it. I thought it was time. And someone had to stop Caleb, our Packers creator, from 3-peating in a 32-person league. He went back to back the last 2 years, and he's made the playoffs every year. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I drafted. I'm honestly feeling kind of skittish about my team at this point too. All right, so yeah, we got 2 running back picks. We're going to go Ty Johnson first, and then we'll go with one of these stacks next, either Kenneth Gainwell or Trevor Etienne. I think I lean Gainwell since I don't think I have a single Steeler stack. Yeah. I think we got to go Gainwell. I feel like Trevor Etienne ceilings maybe a little higher, but yeah, I already have a bunch of Panthers stack. Yeah, I got 2 Panther stacks. Kind of a gross team. I mean, I feel like it started well. The 0 running back teams, though, often feel like that. And they suddenly will snap back to not looking gross when injuries hit. Like you are betting on injuries, really, with 0 running back strat. And historically, running backs have a really high injury rate. Let me just recap this draft, though, quick. I have the 10th pick. This is a PPR best ball draft. I don't make start-sit decisions in this league. Best lineup automatically submitted for me. I will not look at this league again, basically till the season's over. I'll check in on it, but there's no in-season management, no adding, dropping, trading. You start 3 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. You can start 4 receivers in this PPR format, which I'm going to be doing every single week with the team I draft. Because out of the 10 slot, I went Amon-Ra, Brian Thomas Jr., JSN, Marvin Harrison, Devontae Smith with my first 5 picks. Started 5 straight receivers. 4 of those guys need to fill the 3 receivers in a flex slot basically for me every week in this PPR format. And they probably will most weeks, injuries permitting. Then I went running back with Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, 2 pass catching backs on what should be good offenses. I think both kind of sneaky QB upgrade offenses here too. Jordan Addison's going to be suspended the first 3 games. Jalen Naylor's dealing with an injury. Like Aaron Jones, he could be 3rd on the team in target share in week 1 after Hawkinson and Jefferson. I took Judy in round 8, which looking back, I regret. I wish I got Warren or Sharp there instead. Even if I just stuck with 7 receivers and then I had 7 running backs too, I feel like this team would be a little bit stronger. But he did fall. He fell 15 picks past his ADP, and in best ball, I do care about that a little bit since I'm drafting such volume. I took Loveland as my first tight end, took Keon Coleman as my last receiver, and then went Lawrence to stack with Brian Thomas, Jaden Blue, Ray Davis as 2 standalone value running backs with Lee winning upside if there's injuries, or if Jaden Blue just wins the starting job. Bryce Young in round 14, stacked with Leggett and Jatavian Sanders in round 15 and 17. I went Rodgers in round 16. Just stacking with Kenneth Gainwell in the last round, who I do think has a role in that offense this year. And I have Tyler Higbee and Ty Johnson to wrap it up. Yeah, it gets gross once you get to round 18, 19, 20, but I feel like all these guys will have a role at least to start the season. Oh man, we're already getting start sits, man. Wow, what a time to be alive. We're getting week 1 start sit questions. My God, it is a great time to be alive. We're just a couple weeks away from the NFL season. How many days is it at this point? 15? Yeah, 2 weeks, man. Wow. I'm gonna pull up my exposures here quick. How do you even see your exposures on DraftKings? Can you even see it? I don't know how you see it on the computer. I think I can see it on my phone pretty easily. Here we go. This looks like it. Pull this up for the TikTok live too, since we're wrapping up. My DraftKings exposures. Man, Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray, only 2 QBs. I'm over 20%. Caleb's at 27%. Hopefully I got a lot of Bears receivers when we look at the running backs next. Purdy, Lawrence, Daniel Jones. Wow, he's up there. I took a lot of A-Rich too, though. Kind of a gross top of the QB list. I've knocked on a lot of elite QB. 6% Allen, 4% Hurts. I think I got to draft a little bit more of these elite guys. Lamar's at 2. Oh, that's tough. DJ Giddens and Roshan Johnson are my top. You can see I've done a lot of 0 running backs. I'm taking six running backs doing a lot of these. Henderson's up there at least. I told you I have been drafting a lot of Trevion Henderson. Spears, Harvey, Brees Hall I don't feel great about right now. Definitely got to stop drafting him. His ADP is sinking though. It's an interesting opportunity to lean into. Ayuk is at the top. Gosh, I get 2 injured players at the top of my top 4. Definitely a little risky. Definitely very high on Pickens. Not surprised who's at the top of this list at all. All right, guys, that is my time. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you have not checked out the WalterPicks app yet, you got to check it out. It's a free app. The premium subscriptions couldn't be more worth it. It's going to help you crush your draft. It's going to help you all fantasy season. It's going to help you with player props too. Link is in the YouTube description, in the TikTok bio. If you're looking for it, or just look up WalterPicks on YouTube. Did I have your question up before? Oh yeah, it's a week 1 start sit, man. I'm locked into draft mode. My mind is not on week 1 start sits. I do apologize. Like I don't even off the top of my head know who these guys are playing week 1. I'm so locked in to prepare for my drafts. Let's just take a quick peek at the start sit tool for you. I'm curious about this. Looks like it's going to be Caleb. Yeah, it's not close. Wow, he gets the Panthers, Trevor Lawrence. Caleb gets the Lions. Yeah, you go, Caleb. We don't have it even close. The Bears are going to be super pass heavy. They're playing the Lions too. That should be a high scoring game. Man, love that we're getting week 1 start sits. We likely will be bringing back the free trial when the NFL season starts, but not during draft season. The value of the app is too high, and the window of your draft is too short for free trials to make sense right now. but that will change when the season comes back. That's week 2. Oh, week 2. My bad. Why was that week 2? That's weird. Still not that close. I do. Wait. Oh, I think I accidentally just skipped to week 2 myself. But yeah, still not that close. I'll be back live on Friday, guys. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Have a great day, everyone. Good luck in your drafts. If I don't see you on Friday, good luck, everybody.